Hello, my name is Matt Curcio, and this is just enough to get started in the field of bioinformatics. This second video is on Ubuntu-Mate and how to install Ubuntu on a USB drive. What you'll need are basically four things. You'll need to go to the website, ubuntu.com, for the installation directions. I will put all the links below the video for you to see, so you don't have to worry about finding this or writing this down right now. The second thing you'll need, obviously, is a USB flash drive with 2 gigs or greater of memory. The third thing, obviously, is the Ubuntu Linux file, known as an ISO file. That's the format. It might be, for example, Ubuntu-Mate 18.04, desktop, AMD. Yours may change. The fourth thing you need is the ability to boot your computer from a USB stick. You may need to enter your computer's BIOS or UEFI to do this. So that is incumbent upon you to find out how to do this. And by checking with your computer manufacturer's directions and site, that may be helpful. You may also go to Windows information sites and find how to do that with Windows. So to continue, the first page I found from the Ubuntu documentation was installation from a USB stick. Here, they say exactly the same thing. Acquire the correct Ubuntu installation file, the ISO file. Put Ubuntu onto a flash drive, so you'll need a flash drive of some sort. Configure your computer to boot from the USB drive. Traditionally, computers will boot from the hard drive only for security purposes, and now they've changed it so it's a little more difficult to boot from a flash drive, but it is possible. Now, you install the Ubuntu from the flash drive to the hard drive if you'd like, but this is not necessary. We can use Ubuntu from the flash drive, the USB drive, and have a working computer system, operating system, just like this. So, what we need also is a USB creator. So what they mean by that is there are programs that help you produce the USB stick from the ISO format. There is one that they prefer, one that they suggest. It's called Win32 Disk Manager. This takes the ISO file, which is a certain format, and reformats it slightly to work on a USB stick. To find that, all you need to do is to search for the Win32 Disk Imager. Okay. It is on a site called SourceForge, and you can download it very simply. It's a very small program. I believe it's under 100 megs, and helps you run the ISO and put it onto a USB. So, the next step that I've found is a set of directions from ASUS. My computer is similar to this ASUS, and I have Windows 7, Windows 10 also, and I can use these same directions, and hopefully yours will not be that different from these directions, so that you can use something like this. If they're different, you may have to look for your own computer hardware site and look for directions for it or other places. You may even go to the community information site on Ubuntu. So let's follow this. How to enter the BIOS configuration. To do that, usually your computer boots into a blank screen at the beginning. That first instant that it does, you may need to touch F2 or F12 or some other function. That will enter you into the BIOS or into the UEFI. That enables you to change some of these settings for the computer, for your computer. So, there's a main page, there's an advanced page, there's a boot page, there's a security page. Windows now has secure boot control. It is usually enabled by default. You want to disable it. Then there is a boot section. The boot section, here it is, talks about the priority and order of booting, so that you want your USB not to be last or further down the line, but you want it to be first. And there are ways to move it up in the priority list so that it will be seen first, and the hard drive, for example, will not be seen first, but will be accessed later on if you do not have one plugged in. So continuing on, we see a simple save and exit. So now that you've made only several changes to your BIOS or UEFI, all you want to do is save changes and exit. That will reboot your system and enable all these changes to be made. These directions are fairly straightforward and may be different for your computer. But if you do have problems, look into the information help and options through Ubuntu. As I said before, Ubuntu has a tremendous community of help and wiki pages and forum pages that can help you with all sorts of questions. Help topics on installation, switching from another OS, applications, questions on hardware, input devices, they're all here. And they're fairly easy to find with a search function. I would suggest joining the site, joining it and logging in so that you can keep your searches and get your information when you need it. Hope this helps, and we'll be talking about Ubuntu and using it next. Thanks.